Good blessed Friday night, November the 10th, 2023. It's about 7:46 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you the proclaim toughest or the proclaim weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you my family, friends, nor my proclaim enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me, anything that I say or do or produce. You got that's your prerogative. You got that right. You got a First and 14th Amendment rights. You got so many other rights to the United States Constitution to do as you please, as long as it is illegal in a legal manner, a respectful manner, in a peaceful manner. What I want to talk about tonight is, I done had so many battles since I've been here in Charleston, Missouri for the past 27 years. If it ain't one thing, it's another. But what I want to say is tonight, rather, first I want to say to these, don't get it wrong, because I'm not talking about all law enforcement officials. I'm not talking about all judges. I'm not talking about all white people. And I ain't talking about all black people. And I ain't talking about all preachers. If the shoe fit, wear it. We're going to first start with these sellout black preachers and these sellout blacks here in Charleston, Missouri, Carbondale, Illinois, and Chicago that's getting this grant money, and these preachers, the way they using blacks, the way they refusing to speak up about all this black on black crime. You see what I'm saying? Every time you turn around, somebody crying and going to the funeral home to make arrangements to bury their child because some black done sold them some type of mess with fentanyl in it. You see, in them third world countries, the people that sold that fentanyl to them, they wouldn't be able to sell nothing to nobody else again. Those that's out there shooting and killing these blacks, they wouldn't have to do it again, because they take off what you killed them with. They take them arms off, so you can't shoot no pistol without any fingers or hands. Then so many of them want to be killers, gangsters. When I say gangsters, I'm talking about, up under the 6 and the 5. If the shoe fit, wear it. Let me show you some real gangsters. In 1978, in Pontiac, Illinois, July the 22nd, I was in Pontiac prison. I was 20 years old. Now let me show you some real gangsters. I'm talking about real chiefs. The penitentiary went into a riot on that same day. I want you white supremacists and you so-called gangsters to look it up. Google up the Pontiac 17. You see, the Pontiac 17 was 17 brothers that they arrested after the riot was over with because a lieutenant who was racist and 2 white guards in the Pontiac Correctional Center and 3 other ones, the lieutenant and 2 other officers was killed and 3 other officers was critically wounded. You know why? See, I was in there. People got tired of racism. You see what I'm saying? But let me show you some unity. When the penitentiary went on lockdown, they was treating us like animals. They was feeding us in the trash cans, urinating in the orange juice, spitting in the food. It took some people, undercover investigators, came there like they came to work to be able to expose what these people was doing. That's how racist it was there. But people got sick and tired of it. I want you people that's in the 33rd Circuit Court here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. I want y'all in Chicago, Illinois. I want y'all in Carbondale, Illinois. I want all of y'all to pay attention. Google up the Pontiac 17 and read the story on that. You see, people getting sick and tired of y'all racism. People getting tired of you blacks that's out here doing these black on black crimes. You see, them 17 that they got, they stood firm. You see what I'm saying? The 17, 10 of them went to trial and was acquitted. And they had to drop the charges on the rest, just about all the rest of them, but only one of them turned state, but it didn't do no good because wasn't nobody convicted. You see, God don't like ugly. You see what I'm saying? Today they don't know who murdered them individuals. You see what I'm saying? I see the way y'all racist white folks in the courts, the prosecuting attorney's office, the city attorney's office, City Hall is only three females, one white dispatcher. I respect her husband too. Never had no problems out of him. And 2 white females where I go pay my water bill. Never had no problems out of it. Everybody else, God, y'all got to answer to God. You see what I'm saying? Because y'all, when people do things to me, y'all just let it go. Y'all find a way of letting it get out, letting them get away. Y'all let somebody assaulted me. A 40-something-year-old man assaulting an elderly man. I could have picked up arms and killed him and anybody else that's associated with him, but I didn't. You know why? Because I knew if I did, I wouldn't be able to raise my 2 daughters. But one thing about it, God dealt with it. But I want y'all to stay focused now. That 17, they didn't break. They stood together because they know they didn't do it. You see what I'm saying? God know who did it. But one thing about it, God ain't pleased with evil. Jesus got tired of them when he went to Jerusalem. And these so-called preachers and rabbis selling stuff in his house. He came in there and he threw them tables up, threw them out. He was angry. I'm angry, but I ain't gonna see it in my anger. But I want y'all that call yourself killers. Now, you look at what the Pontiac 17 did versus the 19 that was arrested here in Charleston, Missouri. Versus Young Thug. Now look at the Young Thug case. Young Thug, it was 27 defendants. You know how many it is now? They picked a jury and it's down to 6. But yet, all these individuals is killers. You see what I'm saying? Them brothers was real brothers down there where I was at in Pontiac. If they was out on the streets, you Negroes is out here doing this killing, y'all be cemetery bound because what y'all doing is destroying our race. It's one thing, these white supremacists, and if the shoe fit wide, it's supplying y'all with these guns, supplying y'all with these drugs. Where else are these? And some of the law enforcement officials are supplying y'all with this stuff. But all y'all that study doing this stuff to me, prosecuting attorney, God done already dealt with Darren Cain. God done dealt with 2 of the judges up there in the 33rd Circuit Court. He spared 1 life. Then he took another one off the bench. But this past Wednesday on the 8th of November, it showed me what type of system y'all is. I sit in there every Tuesdays and Wednesday when they have a court in there. You see, just like people got tired July the 22nd, 1978, about 45 years ago, people is tired today too, y'all, here in Charleston, Missouri. They tired of y'all misusing blacks in that courtroom and misusing some whites too. You see what I'm saying? The black leaders here don't care because they don't care. They study hiring new white police. And I ain't got nothing against any police, or law enforcement official or judge that's legit. But damn near that whole Charleston, Missouri Police Department, they kind of fooled me. They ain't no different than the chief of police. If you ain't reporting that chief of police, if you ain't reporting that sheriff, you see, it's coming down on the sheriff office already. Look what's all happening up in there, y'all. Jailers misusing the females inside of the jail. John Blakely sent a black man to jail for supposedly killing a white woman back in 2000 or 2001. And yet a Supreme Court appellate court judge said John Blakely is not to be trusted. He was a police officer or detective in Sykes, Missouri back then. He was forced to resign. But see, they can resign after they done did something to a black and then come straight to Charleston, Missouri. Don't matter if you murdered them or raped them or not. Come to Charleston, Missouri, you can get on the police department because you got a damn chief. Don't even know the definition of the chief's job. Robert Hearns is a Ku Klux Klan. Brenton Farrell is a Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan is running this, and they let blacks like Lester Gillespie and Rodney Jones be on the zone committee, and both of them got felons. Lester Gillespie, a felon for voter fraud in the black community. Rodney Jones, rape. You see what I'm saying? You see, they helping them cover up their crimes. But yet they on the zone committee. That's why they getting all these properties here in Charleston, Missouri, and that should be illegal. It is illegal because if they on the zone committee, how in the hell is they able to buy all these damn properties and they ain't in the newspaper for other people to bid on? You know why? Because it's ran by white supremacists, and white supremacists here in Charleston, Missouri, Carbondale, Illinois, and Chicago, Illinois, they're allowing blacks to be a part of their thing now. That's why they don't like me. Now, tell me this here. Look at me here, an activist in Charleston, Missouri. How in the hell am I barred from all the properties of the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority, even the Civic Center that's supposed to be a place where my daughters, and anybody here that's a resident in Charleston, Missouri, to be able to go. Here it is, the white supremacist, the executive director of the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority, Paul Payne, don't even live here, but I live here. Then you got the NAACP don't speak up. I'm an NAACP member. But let me just leave it at this here. Harriet Tubman got tired of y'all behind. Frederick Douglass got tired of y'all. And a whole bunch of other civil rights leaders got tired of y'all. It's one thing about it. Every time I get ready to come out, they think I pay this brother. Brother, man, is this town racist or not?
Hell yeah.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a bunch of sellout blacks?
Yes, sir.
It's Lester Gillespie one of them. Oh, you don't want to say it. You ain't got to say it. I'll say it is. But it is racist, ain't it? Yes, sir. And we got a lot of sellout blacks. How many more of me that you need to get this sound right?
About 10.
10. Am I a strong black brother?
Yes, sir.
Power to the people, man.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to leave it at this here. Frederick Douglass said, you can't keep on oppressing the people and not expect for these people to one day rebel against y'all. Look what happened in 1978. A prime example. In the penitentiary, they got tired. Look at the Watts riot. They got tired. Look in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They got tired. They got tired of this racism. Charleston, Missouri, boy, like I tell y'all, God got something for y'all. I'm talking about you racist whites and you sellout blacks. God got something for y'all. Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, how you be?
Oh, I'm just wondering, do y'all know if this town racist or not?
They here.
Okay. We got a lot of sellout blacks.
Them too.
They too, okay. Am I one of the brothers that speak up? All right. Power to the people. They might think I done paid y'all off. I'll give you a turkey later on for Thanksgiving. But anyway, I'm going to leave it with this here. Everybody in this town, even in Chicago, that undid something wrong to me, they either in the cemetery or the penitentiary. You see, if some cowards took my brother's life August the 3rd, 1977, shot him in the back 4 times, once in the back of the head. I was in the penitentiary. When I got out, I could have got this guy and some of the other ones, but I didn't. But on August the 3rd, 1983, 6 years later, on the same month, in the same day, the individual that took my brother's life OD'd off of heroin. The ones who set him up, they went to try to stick somebody up and got their heads blown off, clear off their shoulders. Individual that lied on me when somebody tried to rob me with gunpoint and I protected myself. Guess what that individual did? OD, he dead. An individual that sent me to the penitentiary the first time, I admitted I committed a crime with him, but I didn't do the shooting. He did the shooting. I was 18, he was 21. He lied and said I did, because they didn't have no witness against me. And they gave him 5-year probation, and I went to the penitentiary. But it woke me up. Never committed a crime after that. Only time I went back to the penitentiary when individuals tried to take my life and I protected myself. I do that today, I do it tomorrow, I do it to the day I go to the grave. But let me tell you about that individual. When I was in Pontiac, homicide investigators came down there questioning me because this individual went to Indiana and did some of the same things, and somebody cemented him and put him in the river. But see, all my letters and phone calls will show I had nothing to do with that. Because I'm not a one that go for revenge because I know vengeance is God's. But I am one that do not take certain things. I turned the cheek down here one time when I allowed the individual to hit me, and that's because I had to take care of my daddy, may he rest in peace, and my 2 daughters. All I have one left to take care of, a 17-year-old. And I pray to God July next year that I live to see her turn 18. But I'm going to leave the way I came with the peace and blessings of God. But I'm going to tell y'all, I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, but I wouldn't be sad if whatever happened to y'all, because that old prosecuting attorney, you said you couldn't open my YouTube videos when I was going to court against Melissa Walker and James O'Connor, the 2 white people that was on probation and committed multiple crimes after they got the probation, but y'all let her get off probation, and then when you didn't do nothing to her or him in court, but just pat him on the back. After my glasses was damaged, I had to wear my old glasses until I be able to pay for my other ones, $145. You see what I'm saying? I got permanent scars on my wrist and my elbow. Officer McDermott took pictures of them, but the prosecuting attorney didn't have none of that evidence at court. She said she couldn't open my video, but in April the 9th of 2016, she was able to open up my YouTube video when Leslie was down here telling children right down the street from my house, telling children that I raped children. She opened that up, and that's what they did. They went in the back with the judge, and the judge found me guilty. But I'm going to tell you this here, God took him off the bench. Some of y'all wonder why things happen to y'all. You don't have massive heart attacks just to be having them. Sometimes you be misusing people so much, God give you a warning for destruction. That prosecuting attorney then, she was working with Dan Cain, but her boss is in the cemetery now. Now she the city attorney. She thinks she walking around with white privilege. But listen here, God will bring you down like he did Donald Trump and his whole family. God will even come at your kids, not me. God will come at your kids like you did mine when they was little. Y'all didn't care nothing about my children, but I fought against you white supremacists. I fought against you sellout blacks, and I'll fight to the day I die. You better take heed. You don't know me. But y'all that's tough out here, why when you get, I'm talking about you tough blacks, why when you get caught, y'all go telling on each other? The Pontiac 17, they stood together. They was facing the death penalty. They went all the way. I was in Pontiac with them, and I was in the Cook County Jail with them. Pontiac, you police, you guards, y'all here in Charles, Missouri, in Carbondale, Illinois, and you blacks that call yourself killers, y'all couldn't stand to be in Pontiac, Illinois back in the day. Probably can't stand it now. Couldn't stand to be in the Cook County Jail back in the day. Probably couldn't stand it now. You couldn't stand to be around places I've been. I sat down with kings, chiefs, real bosses. I am a boss. Peace be still.